Hey everyone, so I've been praising Tell Your Tale for quite some time now, since for me personally, though some are indifferent, I think it's doing a much better job than Make Your Mark does. I originally planned to do a video talking about Tell Your Tale, talking about why it's better than Make Your Mark, and what Make Your Mark should have been. Not like replacing it, but some of the episodes feel like there should have been in Make Your Mark. But I don't want to make this video yet, cause Make Your Mark is still a early show, and I can't wait for improvement in the next chapters. But if the next chapters don't improve, maybe even end up worse, maybe I could do a video about it if the time ever comes. But I hope not. Anyways, like I said earlier though, I do want to talk about the episodes that should have been full length and be part of the main show. Many of their slice of life episodes have a lot of charm and have so much variation in their stories, which is also one of the reasons G4 was so great, so it's a shame they don't get to be full-length episodes, which is also one of the main flaws about these shorts. They don't allow themselves to expand further with these interesting topics. Also, another problem about some shorts is some episodes establish things for Make Your Mark in order to explain certain things for context. The problem with that is not many people will watch them, so it will feel very out of context for many. Again, these are episodes that should have been in the main show, rather than just watching a completely different series in order to understand certain things better. So I hope we get these kinds of episodes rather more in the main show in the future for better establishment. So now I'm gonna do a top 10 of episodes or more that I feel should have been full length for Make Your Mark. I will give my reasoning of why they could work and add more episodes in one list cause some are very similar. So let's head into the list. Number 10. The first two episodes, Sisters Take Flight and A Home to Share. Episode 1 and 2 showed our characters beginning their new lives. Izzy, Pip and Zip moving out from their homes and renovating Sunny's new house. They were pretty simple episodes and I think they can work well together as one. These two episodes showed a beginning of a whole new start for our main characters, which honestly this could have easily been the Make Your Mark special. This would actually been a better start for the main show. It just fits better for the theme. Overall, these are simple and sweet episodes that could have been full length for Make Your Mark for a good start. Number 9. Episode 16 and 20, Nay Fever and Hoofdini. Honestly, these two are one of my least favorite episodes. In case you don't know, I'm not a fan of Earth Pony magic for reasons I can't really explain all of it. To be fair, I like the idea that Earth Ponies are getting a more unique kind of ability. I just don't like how it was handled both from the magic system and writing. And in these episodes, they kind of suffer from the same problems as well. It almost feels like another convenient device fixing everything to me personally. But almost. It's thankfully not as badly handled as the others. Either way, those two episodes, like I said, suffer from the same problem. So why did I add them? Well, it's the concept of the story I found very interesting. You see, in the episodes, we see our Earth Pony characters slowly losing their jobs cause everyone else has magic, but they don't. So our main characters are trying to help them how to still keep their jobs. That's not bad of an idea. My one problem is how it was executed. So after failing to teach their characters, they thought it won't work and thought they should just end with their careers. But then in some convenience, they discover their unique magic and the moral is like, I can keep my job now thanks to magic fixing everything. Something like that, or at least how I felt. Nothing really that deep and can feel really forced at times. Also, I find their powers either just okay or not really that fitting for their jobs. But hey, I don't want to start any further argument around it cause it's a very controversial topic. So yeah, these two episodes I feel have a potentially good idea, it just needs some changes. Number 8. Episode 12, The Game is a Hoof. This episode was honestly pretty interesting and could have been so much more. It was both fun and simple and actually did added a lot to the characters. In this episode, Sip lost her glasses and she suspects one of her friends stole it. and sees each side of their story. A nice little detective story here. One I found interesting is Pip's story using function over fashion by using Sip's glasses in an emergency, which adds a lot to Pip's character. So later in the episode, it has been most suspected that Izzy stole her glasses. But later it has been discovered she was measuring Sip to make new glasses for her. Again, this adds a bit more to Izzy's character. What I also think they could do if it was longer is, after all that, Sip is inspired to be a detective. Or who knows, maybe that was what the creators are trying to do here. Either way, this would again add more to Sip's character. Maybe Izzy learned that Sip loved detective and spy stuff, like maybe she grew up with detective cartoons, so she made a detective device for her. This would also not make her detective stuff later feel so out of nowhere. I think this episode was sweet and had charm, and would be perfect for better establishment and development for our characters. Number 7, episode 21. My bananas. So there have been various opinions I've heard around phones and social media in MOP. And honestly, I think the idea is either just okay or just But this episode kinda changes my opinion around it, cause it goes deeper into the subject of social media, like being viral on accident, aka becoming a meme, and feeling humiliated by it, which is a subject I like and is something that we need more of by going deeper into different subjects. Again, this is something G4 has done well in, and the deeper subject of social media like becoming a meme is a perfect subject for our modern time and audience. This is how I think modern subjects should be handled, as long as it's nothing controversial. By the way, I strangely feel more for Sunny feeling anxiety while laying in bed because of becoming a meme than crying in Alicant. Is it just me? Number 6, episode 4 and 34, Nightmare Roommate and Sneaksy Strikes Again. These episodes don't particularly done anything significant, but rather being simple slice of life episodes, but also having more interesting ideas for Izzy's character. In Nightmare Roommate, Izzy annoys her roommates like using their personal belongings, but our characters are afraid to tell her how they honestly feel. But later they need to open up the truth and gave her stuff for her own. Later though, we learn that she actually doesn't need that stuff and just used theirs just for trying to fit in. That again adds more to Izzy's character. For Sneaksy Strikes Back, Izzy is becoming a secret street artist, which I think fits very well to her. We see that many like her street art, yet it can also bring issues to others, like for Hitch for breaking the law. So yeah, those are pretty sweet and interesting episodes, and would love to see more what they can do with the Sneaksy. Number 5, episode 14, Alicorn Issues. In this episode, Sunny struggles to control her alicorn powers, so her friends try to help her controlling it. This episode feels more of a better version of Alicant, where Sunny struggles with the image of being an alicorn. Anyways, in the episode, Sunny starts losing hope. Hitch comforts her and says to her she has to believe in herself. Which, yeah, cliche, but it's simple enough. Anyways, in an intense scene, she finally gets to control her alicorn powers, which honestly was a pretty badass scene, not gonna lie. So yeah, it's a pretty simple yet progressive episode. It didn't really add much to Sunny's character honestly, but sure deserves its own full-length episode. A thing I would change is, though that scene was cool, why can't it be some sort of sun magic for her namesake, rather than just purple glitter? Seriously, glitter? Number 4, episode 3, Sip's Flight School. In this episode, after magic came back, Pegasi still have a difficult time to fly, so they decide Sip to teach them in her own flight school. This is already a very cool idea for a full-length episode. Like, it reminds me of one of those Rainbow Dash episodes back in the day. And again, it adds more to Sip's character, when after giving up, she still gives them another chance and gives them more courage. If there's a thing to change, maybe make Sip actually wanting to help the Pegasi at the start. I know it's for comedic effect, but it feels very off for her. This is more something how Rainbow Dash would act, but not Sip. Either way, this episode can give so many possibilities for Sip's character. Maybe Sip could continue with the flying school, and this could also help Sip becoming a good future leader. Like, you know, a long-term goal for future episodes. Number 3, episode 41, A Day in Life. Just like in episode 21, it again goes around the subject of social media. This time, however, is more about content creators, where we see Pip doing full-on content for one entire day, for the hopes of getting 1 billion followers. We already know that Pip can feel very anxious when not releasing anything in a day, which in real life can be pretty exhausting and can be very unhealthy if you keep doing it non-stop. So we see Pip of course getting sick from it, but still she doesn't give up on it even when being sick. But thankfully Hitch comes to care for her health, and she learns that you don't have to try too hard to reach your goal, and it's fine doing a break sometimes. And eventually she did reach her goal in some way. It's a sweet ending and again a nice message. Number 2, episode 24, The Star Scout Code. This episode feels like an actual fun little adventure story, which is something we don't get a lot in other stories. So we see in an old recording that Argyle has one of the pieces of an ancient blanket artifact and asks Sunny to find the missing pieces with her family. But Sunny at first doesn't know about it because she's the only one left. This finally adds to Sunny's character. She's definitely at her best when being more with Argyle and historical stuff. We need more of this. So either way, Sunny and her friends try to find the missing pieces hidden in each nation. One thing I love about this episode is more world building it shows us, like learning how Zephyr Heights' throne room once looked like, and the weird glowing crystals in Bridalwood that glow in a specific order. So after they found all the pieces and sew them together, another recording of Argyle pops up and tells Sunny that a family can mean more things that can also include your friends, which is a very sweet ending. Also shows more between Argyle and Sunny's dynamic. If there was something I would change if it was longer, I wish we get to know what that blanket artifact is. It's already weird that our main characters aren't questioning seeing themselves on an ancient artifact as old than 10 generations. But despite this, it's a very fun adventure story with a bit of world building and a sweet simple moral. Number 1, episode 27, All That Jazz. Episode 27 is, in my opinion, the closest thing to a perfect MOP episode, other than Portrait Day. I already done a full review on it, so what I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna say it again. But I will also say things I haven't said yet. So, in the story, Jazz is making different hoof designs. Yet those aren't her own designs and are actually from a website she uses. Yet unfortunately, she runs out of designs and doesn't know how to do an original one on her own. But then the pony of creativity, Izzy, comes in to help her by bringing her to the Crystal Tea Room to show her the art of creativity of the unicorns. Specifically Onyx, my favorite background character. One thing I love in this episode is the vibe it has. It has a very classic jazzy feel, which I really like. Anyways, after Onyx's performance, Jazz learns that though it sounds rough at the start, you should never be afraid to make something new and different on your own, which I think is a really good and fitting moral. Not only for this specific episode, but the whole franchise in general. Yeah, this episode has maybe a few nitpicks, but those are very typical issues that all the other shorts also have. Either way, I think it's a almost perfect episode that feels the closest to G4's charm. It has a sweet and simple slice of life story with a nice vibe and a good message that I think people should be following more. Like, I feel it's a moral that the creators of G5 are trying but struggling to do. I know me and many others have been little harsh on G5 for many reasons, but though G5 has a very rough start, I just hope that maybe, just maybe, G5 can make not only something very different, but also something great in the future. And what better note to end on that? So that's the end of the list, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe you could tell me about your favorite episodes of Tell Your Tale. I know there are other good episodes, including new ones from 2023, but I didn't have enough time or space in the writing to talk about them. Either way, see you all next time, and auf Wiedersehen.